A very good afternoon to all of you. And today I will be talking about rekindling the flame of hope and for children with ocular cancers. So when it comes to ocular cancers, we can say easily that it hits differently when it hits children. And early in life, a battle with ocular cancers can have a deep psychological impact on children and their families with loss of hope, often leading to radical measures like enucleation and life-threatening complications. And let's see how plaque brachytherapy has revolutionized the world of pediatric oncology. We have no financial disclosures, and I will be discussing ruthenium 106 plaque brachytherapy in pediatric ocular tumors. Let me give you a brief description. Out of all the radioisotopes available, ruthenium, which is a beta emitter, that is what we utilize, and it is electroplated on a silver coil, and the silver coil is sandwiched between a silver plating backing that makes the plaque. And that's exactly what we place over the tumor, causing tumor regression. And the purpose of the study, let's not forget that ocular tumors, they leave a psychological impact. It leaves a long-lasting psychological impact on children and their families, and it affects the children during the most important phase of their life, that is the growth phase of life. So our purpose was to assess the outcomes of the spectrum of pediatric ocular tumors treated with ruthenium 106 plaque brachytherapy. So we conducted a retrospective interventional consecutive case series with 94 eyes over 10 years, and we assessed vision, eye, and life salvage. All pediatric cancers were included except for the ones with baseline metastasis or loss to follow-up. The tumors constituted to be 20% of all the plaque brachytherapy tumors that were ever treated at the center, and let me tell you, that's not a small number. And the age ranged from mere 1.5 months to 16 years. The spectrum that we saw, majority of the cases were, of course, retinoblastoma, 68%. We also saw choroidal hemangioma, retinal hemangioma, ocular surface squamous neoplasia, ciliary body medulloepithelioma, choroidal melanoma, conjunctival melanoma, and myofibroblastic tumors. And this is not a very small spectrum. And we treated the tumors ranging from 30 gray to 100 gray. It depends on the etiology. That's how we choose the dosage. And the complications were radiation retinopathy in 10%, cataract formation, corneal opacity, which were taken care of. And we achieved a vision salvage of 55%, eye salvage of 90%, and life salvage of 100%. And that's a revolution per se. Over the past decades, when we do the review of literature, retinoblastoma has been treated with plaque brachytherapy, and it's 1993 when it was stated that it can be used as primary or secondary tumor with good tumor control and patient survival. And the same study group has also analyzed them in long term, and they've stated good control at 1 and 5 years also, with complications similar to ours. When we do a complete analysis over here, this is the study for retinoblastoma evaluation of plaque brachytherapy. We see that over the years, multiple radioisotopes were used in our studies. The first study, which utilizes only ruthenium, with an apex dose of 45 gray at a 7.8 years follow-up. And a vision salvage, eye salvage, and life salvage have only increased over the years. And so we can say that plaque brachytherapy is universally acceptable treatment modality for retinoblastoma. Excellent outcomes have also been reported in diffuse choroidal hemangioma. These implications have been successfully extended as novel treatment modality for several ocular tumors. And this reduces psychological impact by increasing eye and life salvage. So to conclude, advent of plaque brachytherapy in pediatric tumors has revolutionized the outcomes in several etiologies. The dose that we use is 30 gray to 100 gray, depending on the etiology. Complications are associated with minimal functional impairment, excellent vision, life, and eye salvage, and this reduces psychological impact in their lives. And we must remember that sometimes real superheroes live in the hearts of small children fighting very big battles. And I thank the entire ocular oncology team for their efforts in keeping the flame of hope alive.
Thank you. Good presentation. So I just wanted to ask you, in your really last series, all these were primarily and only treated with plaque brachytherapy, I guess, or there was no additional adjunctive therapy or treatment or chemo that was given to
Yes.
any of these?
Yes, there is. So in cases with retinoblastoma, it's always adjunctive treatment. Most over the plaque brachytherapy was utilized as primary treatment earlier days in 1993 or so. But henceforth, like in the current days, we use plaque brachytherapy only in the recurrent cases.
But your study period is these 10 years, correct?
Correct. In the 10 years, it has been used only for the recurrent cases. For the retinoblastoma, it's only the recurrent cases.
And this is the only therapy that was used in your series. There was no additional adjunctive therapy.
When plaque brachytherapy
Yes,
is being
yes.
given, nothing.
And
That
before
time-
or after, there may be.
Correct. Before it must have been done, like
No,
chemotherapy.
I mean, when you talk of outcome of plaque brachytherapy as such a revolutionized,
Right.
you also have to put that caveat that this is not the only. So the message should not go that this is not the only therapy. This is one of the adjunctive, but now currently used in selected few as the primary. Correct?
That is
Yeah.
true. So, like in the earlier times, they had started using plaque brachytherapy as primary treatment also, but it was taken away because the chemotherapy is primary importance.
Yeah.
So, plaque brachytherapy is currently, in the past 10 years or so, only used for the recurrent cases, and that is when everything has failed, and then plaque brachytherapy
So
becomes.
this is the last line treatment.
Yes, mostly.
Okay.
Just one question. Are you the dose is given here in your site, or the radiotherapy person they are also involved in the process?
Yes, the team of radiology, that is like there's a
They are the
radiation.
radiotherapy.
Right.
Yeah.
So the radiation oncology
Yes.
team is also involved. They're the ones who calculate the
Yeah.
dose, but the per se the radiation is done by us.
Yeah.
The calculation is done on the basis of a simulator. There's a proper calculator which decides as per the apex dose how much should be the surface on the side. There
Yeah.
should be no complications, and they give us the dose.
Okay. Thank you.
Same like radiation. One thing more, hemangioma also that is like not malignant, but that is
Yes,
you use the plaque.
yes, and it gives very good.
How long? How much time? This is 10-year-old study. So when did you just enter in this study? So how long were your associate, personal associate?
My association has been for past 4 years now. More than 4, I guess. Yeah. Right.
Logistic problems in children when you're doing this?
Logistic issues are always there, sir, like in terms of, say, when we have complications like cataract surgery, so that's like another surgery going through, but that was in very few cases. The logistic issues are also that when the plaque is placed, the children are very, not that comfortable, but that's only for those few hours or few days that the child remains like in discomfort.
Sedate these children when
Yes, yes, the procedure is done under sedation.